Welcome to the Bedlam Brother Radio Show. I'm Calvin.
I'm Trey.
Trey, do we even want to talk about the Thunder game last night versus the Mavs or no?
We will have to eventually talk about it, I think so.
But first, you want to get the rest of the playoff game since that was a sadder topic for us?
You mean not as sad topic?
Well, that would mean the Thunder versus Mavs game was pretty sad overall.
Yes, pretty much. For the first games, I will have to say, wow, I was not expecting so many blowouts.
That's true. That's true.
I think there was 4 games of over 25 points.
Yeah, it was...
And most of them were in the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, OKC, Spurs, and Clippers. And then what was the East team that did it? I forgot.
Heat. Yeah, Heat beat the Hornets pretty badly.
So, I mean, I'd be more scared if I was in the East, if I was a top team, but it just shows you how big of a difference there is between 1 through 4 in the West and then the rest of the field. Or 1 through 3, even.
That's true. Cavs had a really close game versus the Pistons, so I did not see that happening at all.
Very true.
That's a really close game 1, honestly.
Uh-huh. And then the Boston game was pretty close, too, against Atlanta, I believe.
Boston was pretty close.
There was also... what was the other one? There was another really, really close one. Besides OKC and Mavs.
In the West?
Probably, yes. It would have to be...
Warriors blew them out. Yeah. I mean, Warriors last night was a little closer, but not really at the end.
Because Curry wasn't playing, correct?
Curry did not play. Steph Curry did not play last night.
I mean, I don't think you really need him this series.
Not weird to think about.
I don't think you need him this series so you can rest him. Because he didn't get to rest any during the regular season. So, that's a good thing. But they were really chippy and, just were going at each other at the game 1.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So, it's been crazy. I've enjoyed it so far. I mean, I'm not enjoying this Boston-Atlanta game that we're watching right now. There was 21 or 22 turnovers within the first half, and it was just awful. Yeah, pretty much. It's really bad to watch.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd agree completely on that one. It's, this has been a rough series for Boston here. Avery Bradley lost out, and now...
So, coaching is not helping them.
No, but I think Brad Stevens, though, as far as the Celtics go, I think Brad Stevens is going to eventually lead them to a title. They just need a playmaker. They don't have...
A couple.
I mean, Isaiah Thomas is a complementary piece on a good team, and right now he's being put up as, the guy, and it just isn't going to work. It's not going to work out the best like that for any team. I mean, if Isaiah Thomas is your best player on the court, especially offensive-wise, it's not really going to work out for you that well, you know?
Yeah. It's just... I think Boston is... this is a good thing for them, I think. They're still a really youngish team, I would say. So...
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah, at this point, I think Boston needs, DeMarcus Cousins, or really Kevin Love even, or anyone at this point, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yes, pretty much so.
Who would be the best free agent that the Celtics could get this offseason to add to their team?
I mean, realistically, or just being anybody?
Realistically. Realistically.
They could try really hard for KD, maybe, if they really wanted to.
Maybe if they get Ben Simmons as the first overall pick and somehow get that, they could swing Kevin Durant. But I still think Kevin Durant leaves
how would they get the first pick, though?
Okay, so...
because of the Nets deal.
They own the Nets pick.
Yeah.
So right now, as it stands, they own... Yeah, but I think if it's top 5 and Celtics get it, if it's out of the top 5, then Brooklyn gets it back or something like that. I mean, the trade the Celtics made with the Nets for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett should go down as one of the craziest trades in history.
Very true. And it helped them out. I would say it helped Boston out more than the Nets, because the Nets only had a 1 year of doing anything with them, and they were just...
Yeah, you made it to the Eastern Conference playoffs. Congrats.
Yeah. Yay.
But as it seems right now, I think the Celtics are in a great position moving forward as an organization. They just much better position than the Lakers are, I would say.
You never know. They have a huge salary cap now.
Celtics will too with this TV deal coming up. I mean, the Celtics, I think, are in a much better position than the Lakers are heading into this.
Do you know who's the most expensive player on their team?
The Celtics?
Yeah.
I want to say it was David Lee before they dumped his contract, and now it's withstanding. I think I'd say it's Jay Crowder or Evan Turner at this point, just because they're the older players on the team, but I don't know for sure.
Gotcha. So yeah, wow. I think Boston will do. I think they'll at least win their home games.
Oh, in this series?
Yes, in this series against Atlanta.
Yeah, I can see that for sure happening.
Maybe, hopefully.
No, I can see Boston definitely beating Atlanta in one of the two games Boston has at home.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know about. I mean, the rest of the series. I mean, the Hawks. The Hawks could also sweep.
This is true, but I would feel like they would win at least one in their home arena.
Yeah, at this point, I think you're right.
So we've talked a lot about Hawks and Boston. Which other one is kind of surprising you so far?
Cavs Pistons, man.
Cavs Pistons?
Because
the Cavs are struggling, or
Pistons held them to 86 or so points, and Marcus Morris. I think they're the Marcus Morris brother. Really just kind of went off, and the rest of it. Yeah, it surprised me that you can have such an inefficient team with such good players, if that makes sense. Like, the Cavaliers' talent, I expected it to just break away from the pack after halftime against the Pistons, and really the Pistons stayed with them.
I mean, we do have, like, the meme of the series, though, of LeBron just passing it up and not even looking if it went in on the three, so...
Right, and then, of course...
It was a hard brick miss.
Yeah, bricked it.
Hard.
But right now as it stands, I think that the Cavaliers should definitely sweep that series, as it is.
Maybe. I think Detroit will get one.
Really?
I think they'll get one at least.
So I think that first game was like a wake-up call to the Cavs that they can't just roll through this team. And if the Cavs play good enough and have good enough offense, then they'll put the Pistons in a tricky situation where they have to score a lot without the same
star power.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly. No, I think any other team is. I think the Warriors has the same kind of star power that the Cavaliers have on their team. They have three big superstars.
I mean, yeah, kind of three. Yeah.
What? Yeah, three.
Yeah, that's true.
Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James. Everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
You could arguably put in J.R. Smith that has been a superstar. Amon Shumpert's a well-known name.
Mm-hmm.
Tristan Thompson, Timothy Mozgov.
That's true. So yeah.
Keep going.
I know. It's the Cavs. But they're also in the Eastern Conference too, so...
But I think they should... Because the more pressure the Cavs put on the Pistons, then the more Reggie Jackson feels like he has to do something to help them win that game. And I mean, the Cavs are at their best when they make another team play ISO.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Want to argue?
No. I mean, Reggie Jackson is quote-unquote their best player, and he was our second-string point guard, so...
He's definitely the backup to Westbrook. Definitely the backup. It was a good trade by the Thunder. Would you rate that trade good? Ended up getting Cantor in that deal?
Yeah.
Cantor?
I mean,
Cantor?
I mean, he didn't win us the game, though. But yeah, we did need bigger men. So.
But I would definitely say that getting Enes Kanter over Reggie Jackson, who doesn't want to be there anymore, is definitely a
very
trade.
True. Yeah.
No?
I think it was a good, yes and no at the same time.
Why not?
I don't know. I've always kind of questioned the Thunder's trades because it's just... Ever since the James Harden trade, I just don't trust it very much. Yeah, it's been kind of...
Why was the Enes Kanter for basically Reggie Jackson trade a bad trade?
I mean...
Just say it in a couple sentences.
I think, for me personally, I think we already had enough big people. Because we have, Nick Collison, Steven Adams, Perk... No, we don't have Perk. We didn't have Perk at the time. Ibaka, that's who I was thinking of. So we have, a decent...
But of the players who get minutes, you have Kanter, Ibaka, and Adams.
Mm-hmm.
You think that with Durant there playing in the post, that's just too many bigs?
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
what would you
most of the league is pretty much just small ball, and I would say at least in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
So that's what I think of. So I mean, in the Eastern Conference, I don't think there's many teams that have big lineups.
See, I think for the
Maybe
Thunder,
Memphis.
I think for the Thunder to beat the Warriors, in my opinion, I think for the Thunder to beat the Warriors, they have to have two different styles of play. So you either have to have a level of play that is just go big and just make the Warriors play up to your defense and play that type of style. Get out on the perimeter, block some shots, get a lot of rebounds. That's one way of beating the Warriors with a small lineup. Second way is to play their own game against them and be better at it.
Yeah.
Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are historically great shooters overall, and Steph Curry might go down as the best ever three-point shooter. I mean, he may already be at this point. So you're not going to be even at that.
I would say we would need a smaller lineup because they just move the ball so much more. Just
stick with them?
Yeah, just be able to stick with them and so that they won't have such a wide-open shot. Because that's just, all the time, they just move the ball around and they usually playing against a team that's a little bit bigger, I would say, like bigger size. And they're just passing the ball around and then they get tired and then bang, free open three-point shot pretty much.
Yeah, but in my opinion, you either have to have a really fast team to stick with them on defense or you have to have a really, really not slow, but a really big team to beat them on defense.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that question in a second. But with that as it stands, the Thunder are a great team, top 3 in the Western Conference. That's a pretty historic mark. And if we had won a couple of those games that would go in the fourth quarter, just a couple of them, we'd be a 61 team this season.
Yeah.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, we could be
historically great.
Yeah.
I mean. And the game against Mavs last night was really sad the way it ended. You know, I mean, if Steven Adams bumps the ball with his hand instead of falling through on the shot, we win the game.
But I don't think if he bumps it, would have gone in, though.
I think it would have, but that's not the point I'm making. Yeah. I mean, the point I'm making is that if he had let it go just a 0.1 second earlier, he would have made the shot. That's the point I'm making.
True.
And for the Thunder, the nemesis we have currently is the Warriors and the Spurs. And we're not really that worried about the Cavs because we just want to beat the 1 and 2 seed first.
True.
And right now, our team is still a little bit set up to beat Kobe and the Lakers back in 2010 when they were that good.
Yeah.
Because originally we had...
Because that was our back then was like...
Well, whenever we played the Lakers in the Western Conference, playoffs the first year, and I think we ended up getting swept by them, if I'm not wrong.
Close, yeah.
We basically set up our team to have guys who would be able to defend Andrew Bynum, Paul Gasol, and Kobe Bryant, and then whoever else they had on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And our team is a little bit set up like that still, especially at shooting guard, with the defensive shooting guard.
That's true.
There's not many... We can lock down Wesley Matthews, but you know what? The point guard they have out there is Darren Williams. He can't really stop many people on defense that well anymore, especially. Mm-hmm. Wesley Matthews can't really either, so Westbrook blows by everyone. And it seems to me that overall right now, the Thunder have the upper hand when it comes to matchups that have a poor defense.
True.
But if you have a good defense, then we're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, pretty much.
If you have a defense, if you can close out on defense, we're pretty much screwed at this point.
Yeah, I mean, look at Durant last night. He was not shooting the ball well at all.
7 of 33. That won't happen again.
Oh, it may.
It could, but Westbrook also had a pretty low scoring number for him was 17.
He probably shot just as... He was close to...
And when Westbrook only makes 17 points, mm-hmm. He did get 12 rebounds, so props on that, but he got 17 points and Kevin Durant only gets 21. You're lucky that the bench stepped up that much at all, really.
That's true.
To get us that close.
We do need a third person, though.
I just don't know where they'd fit in.
Shooting guard.
That would clog up. See, in that mind, Kevin Durant is a plus and a minus in the situation here.
Yes.
Because he can play tall and play big down the court.
Mm-hmm.
But then if we have Cantor in, we kind of got to, Cantor takes up some of KD's space, if that makes sense, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. They're, taking up the same pockets of space to make baskets. Whereas if you have Ibaka does, but also Ibaka needs to stay down low and block shots. Ibaka has played amazing defense his past 2 games, though, Would you agree?
Yes. And he was playing he did productive offense, too, on the first game. Not so much on the second, but still decent.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Thunder to death, but I think after the first game, I definitely expected the Thunder to sweep this series. And now it's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really, really interesting as it moves forward.
I'm kind of still scared, though. Because now we got to go to Dallas
and play too.
Yeah.
Are you worried that we could come back and they could be up 3-1? I don't think that's...
I could see it being 2-2, but I don't want them to go to a 7-game series, though.
No. Well, let's face it, we got to be ready for anything at this point. We're going to go up against, the Spurs, pretty much?
Mm-hmm.
Almost for sure. Well, I mean, we'll see, Memphis in Game 2 could give the Spurs a little bit of a test, and it could not look that certain, but...
I mean, the first game, the first half looked really tight on defense, and just nothing was going in for either team. It was like a 19 to 22 game type of score. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if they keep playing like that, Memphis will win if it's under 80 points.
Yeah.
That's how they've been playing all year.
But when you're starting Jordan Farmer, I don't give you much hope.
Yeah, it's true. This is very true.
I mean, starting Jordan Farmer is that's got not a good sign. Especially, the Grizzlies' best two players are Mike Conley and Marc Gasol. Neither of them playing for, I don't know how long Conley's out, but I know Gasol's out for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, very true. It's going to be interesting. So, we knocked out, did we talk enough about the Thunder? Or do you want to add any more to it?
Yeah, I guess moving on to Game 3, things to look forward to from the Thunder is KD shooting better than 7 of 33.
This is true.
Even if he just takes less shots and still shoots 7 out of 21, I'll take that over shooting 7 of 33.
I mean, he had open shots, though. That's the problem. It just none of them were hitting like they usually do.
Right, but I don't think that happens again. When you're that elite of a scorer, I don't think it happens again. So I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook to go off a little bit more and go crazy.
Okay.
And let's play more Cantor.
Yeah, I think we start to need to play him more than Adams almost. Because I feel like Cantor will produce more points.
Well, they have good big men, and they've got Dirk.
Yeah.
But I don't think that... Because Dirk can go guard somebody on the outside.
Yes.
Just fine. But I don't think that... I don't think that Zaza Pachulia is going to go guard Ibaka on the outside, too. I think a Cantor-Ibaka duo may create some wiggle room on offense here and help out.
Mm-hmm. May. I don't know. I'm really kind of nervous about this Thunder team, though.
Yeah.
So...
We've been nervous and anxious about this whole season's been, what about this Thunder team?
Yeah, it's mostly because of the coach, but...
Really? Because, yeah. I think with Scott Brooks, we're still figuring the same type of stuff.
Well, Scott Brooks, we kind of, we understood, we were at least making it to the conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
With the new guy, with the new strategy, would that even, take us over the edge? And so far, it doesn't prove it. Because we should be 2-0 right now instead of 1-1.
Do you think that was coaching?
Partially, but
So I don't think that was coaching at all, really. I think your best player on your team and the best two players on your team scored the highest. Kevin Durant scored 21. Mm-hmm. Russell Westbrook scored 17. When the two best players on your team total of 38 points and they usually total of 50, mm-hmm. That's where your disadvantage is. Especially if you're a Thunder team and you only score 84 in a game, mm-hmm. you're not going to win that game. I'd say that for sure. The Thunder need to score 90 or above to win almost every single game. Yeah. If not every game, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, they do need to score 90.
The Thunder are not made defensively.
The first game they were really showing their defense, though. The first game.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of energy and a lot of focus, but really,
probably because they got the rest, too.
You score 108 to 70. At one point, we had doubled their score, and it was a blowout against the Mavs' first game. In the second game, it just surprised me that it was this close and then we lost.
Mm-hmm.
Really
it just, yeah. There's nothing.
What?
Nothing else to say. It's just weird. I was expecting
Just
like
weird.
a blowout, but we didn't get that at all. So, and now I'm thinking we're probably going 6 or 7 games.
Realistically, though, 6 or 7. What do you think?
Most likely 7.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think that we're going to go there and lose 1 or 2?
1 or 2, maybe just 1, but then we'll tie it up 2-2. We win Game 5, but we lose Game 6 at their place, and then Game 7 we would win again.
I mean, I'm all down for winning a playoff series.
Yeah, but
But I don't.
I mean, the
I see
Spurs.
it 6. I see it 6-game series or something.
I can see the Spurs sweeping though, so then they'll be able to rest, and Pop is just amazing with rested players too. So
yeah,
we would be tired-ish, and so yay, not so good.
Yay, not so good.
Yeah,
I think the Spurs series is incredibly hard, and I think that there's no way around it, and I don't think it matters if we get to 7 games or if we had swept the Mavs on how good we're going to do against the Spurs. I don't think either of those two things really factor into it. And to be honest with you, Kevin Durant's 27, Westbrook is also 27. The oldest player that's in our starting lineup is 27. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that, because you're going to have at least 1 day of rest after the series is over, and honestly, in my opinion, then you have days off to rest in between there, and you're going to have to outdo the Spurs. You're not going to be able to beat them just because you had more rest. The Spurs are going to sweep the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not, the Spurs are going to beat the Grizzlies in 5, maybe 6, but really, if you're starting Jordan Farmer, you're going to...
I mean, you really do want to have the rest, though.
You want the rest, but I don't think the rest makes the difference between the Thunder winning against the Spurs versus the Thunder losing against the Spurs.
Maybe. We'll see. We shall see.
Why do you think it makes a difference?
Why? I just think, if we were equal playing terms, then, on rest, they both have, an equal opportunity. If we have, the Spurs need the rest no matter what, so if they don't get it, then they will be struggling just because they're so old. But then again, we keep saying that every single year, and they just keep going crazy in the playoffs. So we need it just to be healthy and energized, because that's how we play is with lots of energy. And if we don't have the energy, then I don't know if we can compete against the Spurs as well.
Yeah, I wish the Spurs had played the Mavs first round. I think that would have been a much tougher matchup for them. And if we had played the Grizzlies first round, I think that we would.
I think that would still be a tough series, though.
You think it'd be? Why do you think it'd be a tough series?
The Grizzlies play really good defense,
but they don't have any offense.
They don't have
no offense.
I know, but did you not see us struggling with a team that barely plays that well of defense?
The Mavs. You really think it'd have been a tougher series if we had played the Grizzlies versus the Mavs?
Yeah,
for us.
I mean, it has in the past against the Grizzlies.
That's when they've got Marc Gasol and Mike Conley. Now they've started Jordan Farmer, and I don't even know who they started at center.
Yeah, but still, we always struggle against the Memphis Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies right now have Tony Allen playing the small forward at this point, because or maybe they have Lance Stephenson playing small forward, or if it matters. But they have Jordan Farmer, Lance Stephenson, Tony Allen. I don't know at power forward, and again, I don't know at center. And do you think that would have been a tougher series than the 5 Mavs players, 4 of which, or I guess 3 of which, or 4 of which have been All-Stars in the past?
Yeah, I would think so.
Wow.
I would think so. It's just they play defense, though. And that's what we kind of struggle against, is whenever a team can actually prevent us from scoring 80 points every night.
So I don't think that's our biggest issue. I think our biggest issue is defending another team.
Okay.
Because if we can't... Because, we should have stopped the Mavs from scoring 85. We really should have.
Mm-hmm.
We should have held them to the 70 or some odd points they scored the night before. But our issue was that we also couldn't score, and then they did score. Mm-hmm. We really let it off the gas in the end and just didn't play up to our abilities.
True. Bench didn't provide anything, so... Or not as much as they could have. I still don't like our bench that much. I mean, we don't have that many people that will score 10 solid good points every night off the bench.
I'm with you, but we have players. We just don't have... We've got guys. We just need... We needed them to play up to their ability. I thought Deion Waiters was better. I don't know why, but maybe it's because I just didn't watch him that much and he played for the Cavs, and they're happy to get rid of him. I don't know.
Anyways, would you like to talk about a different series then?
Sure.
Because I'm kind of starting to get sad again about the Thunder.
Go for it. What series do you want to talk about?
Whichever one you think is most interesting.
Put it back on me. Okay, really right now I think the Warriors-Rockets is pretty much over. We can write that off as a series, right?
Which one?
Warriors-Rockets.
Oh, yeah. Totally. I think that one was over whenever they found out who they were going to play against, pretty much. Unfortunately. So I think they're going to sweep them.
Sweep them, okay. So that one's pretty much over. Talk about Cavs Pistons, already touched on that subject.
Which that one I could see going 5 or 6 games.
It's a possibility. I think the Cavs could sweep, though, still. I think the Cavs could wake up and be fine.
Heat is the team I'm surprised about, though.
Surprised they did that good against the Hornets?
Yes. But then again, it is the Hornets. But still, they were looking really good. And considering the East, nobody really had like a 20-point win. Just looked very, very good. Also, I believe, who was the team that lost? Oh, the home team that lost. I think it was the Toronto Raptors. Yeah, I'm scared for them. I don't think they're going to come back on this one because the Pacers are doing well, surprisingly.
I think it's always scary to have the best player on the court be on the lower seeded team. Mm-hmm. So like the Pacers having Paul George and them going against the Raptors when clearly I think Paul George is maybe not a ton better, but at least a little bit better.
He's a superstar at least.
Yeah, he's at least a little bit better than DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. So when you have the best player on a team being the lower seed of a playoff series, it's going to make it interesting. And right now, Paul George is doing pretty darn good, and I think the Pacers can really, really make a difference here.
Pacers make a difference.
Do you still think the Raptors will pull this out or no?
Have they played Game 2 yet?
No.
Okay. Is that tonight?
It's tomorrow night.
Oh, okay. To be honest, they came out pretty flat. So I'm still thinking Pacers could steal another one on the road, and then maybe win 2, or they can steal another one, really.
Yeah.
So, like Game 5. So I could see them winning in 5 games.
Yeah. Okay. See the Pacers winning in 5 games?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
The 7th seed Pacers beating the 2 seed Raptors in 5 games.
Yes.
I think that's a ballsy prediction.
I think so too, but I think it could work though.
How do you think it would work out overall? I mean, they win the next.
They'll win.
They win at Raptors tomorrow night.
Well, they could, or they win both home games, and then they basically will steal one other game. They'll steal one more game, so that's what I can see.
They'll steal one more game and then what?
And then they move on. Because they won both home games, and then they won this one. So they're already at 3, and then they could steal this game tonight or tomorrow at the Raptors, or Game 5.
Wow. All right, Trey. You really, really believe in this Pacers team, man.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, they have a star power. I mean, better star power, supposedly.
Yeah.
So,
in my mind, the series for them isn't that easy. I think the Raptors have another gear to play at, and they just let the game get too close against the Pacers or something.
Mm-hmm.
I could really see I could definitely see the Pacers making this a series. I could really see the Raptors making this a series, honestly.
So you see it going to 7 games?
Mm-hmm.
And who's pulling it out in Game 7?
I want to say the Raptors. They're the 2 seed, and I just think that's what's going to happen.
All right, we shall see, won't we? Because I don't think for me, like, the Raptors have a bunch of, like, good B stars, but they don't have an A star.
Really?
Yeah. In my opinion.
I think DeRozan's pretty darn good. No?
I mean, what does he average? 10, 20-ish points a night, supposedly?
Yeah, but I think I think the Raptors as a whole are a good, solid and good team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Pacers are a good team, but there's a reason why each team is seeded as they are, and their teams are going to play up to that ability.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, what do you think about, since we're pretty much there, what do you think about for the LA Rams' decision to trade up in the draft?
It's very
over the Titans.
It's very interesting. What's the deal actually break down to? I forgot.
Basically, the Rams have the first overall pick, and then the next pick they have is in like the 4th round, I think.
Who are they going to go for?
The Rams or the Titans?
The Rams. If they're going for the number 1.
Carson Wentz or Jared Goff.
Oh, okay.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Quarterback all day.
Yeah, they do need one, that's for sure. Technically they could have waited. No, they couldn't because they have a 4th round pick. Oh man, I don't think it was worth the trade up.
I think it was.
Who's the Titans gonna draft?
What, the Titans have 15th right now pick?
Oh,
they have the Rams. The Titans have the Rams pick.
Yes. And Rams, I thought Rams were top 10. Or top 5 even.
No, Rams were not top 5. They're 15 overall. I'll look this up real quick. But I think the Rams made a good deal for them and for the immediate future. But I think this is a good trade for both teams, because in one respect, the Rams needed to make a flashy move to draw people to the stadium, especially when it's the LA Coliseum. It's not a brand new stadium in LA.
They're building one, though, right?
Yeah, they're building it. But I think it's a really, really good deal whenever you're trading to get a quarterback and lead your team to victory, versus when you're trading. Versus when you're staying in the same spot and just trying to keep it as going. So you've got Todd Gurley, right? You really don't have any wide receivers if you're the Rams. None that come to mind immediately. Kenny Britt's the only one I know. But then, as far as quarterbacks go, Case Keenum and Nick Foles is not going to cut it, especially for the LA fan base. You're going to want to see something. So right now as it stands, definitely a good move by the Rams, in my opinion.
Really? Because I think they gave up a lot, though, for this.
They did, don't get me wrong. But
for this year and next year.
They did.
So...
But if Carson Wentz or Jared Goff... But they are putting all the chips in on this draft.
Pretty much.
All the chips in on this quarterback they draft. And I don't know no one knows which it's going to be yet. But if it works out correctly and works out right for them, hats off to them. If Jared Goff or Carson Wentz is the next Peyton Manning,
there's not that many good number 1 picks, though. Especially out of this draft, though.
You're saying Carson Wentz and Jared Goff are just not good?
They're not as good as, what Peyton Manning was.
Peyton Manning, do you think, was
better
coming out of the draft?
Yes.
Well, that was in 1996 or 98.
Yeah.
Do you really remember that draft when you were 5 or 3?
No, but I, watched it over whenever
Peyton Manning won a Heisman?
He was second. He was runner-up to a Heisman.
But he didn't win it?
No.
So who would you draft overall at number 1 if you're the Titans? If you still have that pick, then what?
They already have their quarterback.
Yep.
Their defense is bleh. Maybe somebody on the defensive side from Alabama. I don't know who was highly ranked up there.
If I was the Titans, I would definitely draft
maybe a wide receiver.
Yeah. Or some offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Or some
They need some defense. They need some defense.
But if I'm the Titans, this is a great trade. And if I'm the Rams, it's a great trade for today.
It's going to hurt them.
Because the Rams at 15 are probably going to draft Paxton Lynch, maybe out of Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's... No one thinks he's the guy.
Was both quarterbacks
projected to go before their pick? Yes.
Okay. By who?
I forget exactly who the second team was, but the first team was definitely the Browns.
Oh, shocker. The Browns need another quarterback? No, say it ain't so.
Browns still might drop the quarterback and just throw RG3 to the Wolves next year.
Oh, yeah. Well, why would they go for a quarterback then?
Just have RG3 out there and see how that works out. But if you've got the second pick as it stands right now, why not take a quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
The Browns need a lot, but they need a quarterback first, and usually teams build from a quarterback outwards.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, the Browns, let's just say, they're kind of sorry.
Kind of. Really sorry.
Yeah.
Browns are a very sorry organization.
Very, very sorry. I mean, they've gone through so many quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they probably could have, to be honest with you, they should have kept Brandon Weeden. It's just he did not have an offensive line to protect him.
I don't think Brandon Weeden's that good, man.
I mean...
He's also 32.
True. But, the offensive line just was not there. Drop 3 steps back and there's a guy already on him. There's nothing Brandon could have done. Yes, he's not that mobile quarterback that they want, because that's what they obviously need, because their offensive line sucks, but... I mean, Brandon would have at least done something well.
I think Brandon Weeden might have been okay, but the issue the Browns had was drafting Trent Anderson in top 3,
yeah.
And then they drafted...
And Trent's gone now, pretty much.
Trent's gone out of the league.
Yeah.
I mean, drafting Trent Richardson was a horrible idea for the Browns. Who would have known, but still.
Johnny Manziel out of the league, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be. No
Brandon Weeden backing up for Brock Osweiler down in Houston. I mean, Browns have had such a bad history. At this point, the Browns need him.
Is out? He
might be back up somewhere, but I don't know where.
He's not playing, though.
No.
Jeez. The only, decent person is, OSU guy. Shoot. I forgot.
The Browns drafted?
Yeah.
Justin Gilbert?
Yes, Justin Gilbert.
He's not
that good.
Not good.
But I mean, he's still on the team though.
That is true.
And he's still legal to play.
That's true.
That's been an issue for them.
That's true. Well, Trey, who do you think the Browns should draft with the second overall pick if you think they shouldn't draft another quarterback?
They shouldn't touch the draft at all. Is that an option? Don't let them touch the draft at all, because whoever's going to go there is going to end their career instantly? Is that an option?
Not really.
Oh, man.
Who do you think they should draft?
Realistically, or...
Realistically.
They probably need a offensive line. They need to stop gambling on this quarterback stuff and just kind of build an offensive line first and then get your star quarterback. Their offensive line is horrible.
Don't you think you need a quarterback first?
I mean, if they have RG3, that's good enough for right now. Deal with it. He can move out of the pocket at least.
Okay.
But you need an offensive line.
So, in my opinion, you need a quarterback, Tony Romo, for instance, and then build an offensive line around him, and then you suddenly have the league's leading rusher in DeMarco Murray. And you have, once you have a quarterback that can sustain an offense, has glimmers, and is hopeful, then you can build an offensive line. Then you can build,
But, that's worked so well for them the past couple of draft picks.
So you're saying they just have to do something different?
They have to change it up, because what they're doing right now is not working for them.
They just need to take
They're taking too much of a risk of going for, this is...
See, in my opinion, the Browns need to just get good on defense.
It also would help if they wouldn't be cleaning shop every, 2 weeks, Different coach, different staff, different players,
Oh, look, the Grizzlies are starting Chris Kaman. Yeah, I'm with you. Well, who do you think the Chargers should take at number 3?
A quarterback.
Philip Rivers isn't a good quarterback?
Nope. Tell me how many Super Bowl playoffs appearances.
Okay, you just argued how RG3 is good enough. Now you're arguing how Philip Rivers is not good enough.
Okay, but he's been in the league for how long now?
You really think the Chargers need a quarterback overall at the 3rd overall pick?
Philip Rivers his prime is gone.
I mean, he's not that old.
Can you tell me the last time they won a playoff game?
2013.
That's still, But before that, there was a long period of time though.
No, they won the FC West in 06 through 2010.
They need a quarterback.
But they don't. Who else would you take then? They have plenty other positions they need instead of a quarterback.
You know what? They kind of need.
Philip Rivers is definitely top 10 in passing yards every season.
Did their current tight end retire finally?
Nope. Antonio Gates still plays for them.
Really? I'm surprised he still plays. To be honest, they probably need a running back.
Drafted Melvin Gordon last draft.
Has he done well?
Got injured.
Yeah, there you go. There's the key. I don't really know for the Chargers because I don't follow the Chargers that much as you do, but...
Would you say defense? When in doubt, defense?
It's always that. It's like, when in doubt, get a quarterback or defense.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But how many... okay, this is the question for you. How many Alabama players are going to be drafted first round? Do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Over or under 10?
Under.
Okay. Because I remember, like, one year there was, like, 10.
Yeah, I think that Derrick Henry will... He might get drafted in the first round. Then... There's a lot of good corners, a lot of good DNs in this draft, but I don't think... There's just not a lot of talk about just amazing talent on defensive side for Alabama. That's usually how a bunch of the players get drafted.
True.
And I haven't heard a lot about their offensive line being just amazing either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, they won the NCAA championship, but in the same point, there's just... I'm not hearing the same names come around.
Yeah.
The Derrick Henry name is the only
or
one I really know out of
Clinton Dix's and that type of stuff.
Right. The only name I really know from Alabama right now is, sadly, Derrick Henry.
So, okay, another question. Do you think Braxton Miller's going to be second round, first round?
Could be third. Even.
Third?
Yeah.
And what do you think he's going to be as?
Wide receiver at this point.
Okay. Not a quarterback?
No, because he transferred last season, and I don't think anyone's going to take Braxton Miller and go, let's put you back at quarterback after you spent a year transferring.
Browns will do that.
And the Browns will take somebody number 2.
Maybe.
Almost every single person thinks they will.
All right. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Ohio State, because Ohio State was pretty good this year, so there's probably going to be a couple of good Ohio State players going to be recruited, or going.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully.
Let's see here. I'm going through a mock draft on VoxSports.com for the NFL. And nothing really stands out to me, honestly.
Just a lot of offensive and defensive line.
Yeah.
That's usually how it's been going lately, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are trying to build within now.
Is there any wide receivers so far?
I'll have to go back up, but I think not. So, we've got Jaron Reed, defensive tackle from Alabama. That's the first name from Alabama.
Oh, wait, there was a quarterback.
Okay, Paxton 20.
Wide receiver, TCU. He was alright.
Josh Doxson? Yeah, he didn't play in the game against OSU.
Yeah, well, he did for a little bit, and then he got hurt.
His first quarter, yeah, he did. The first quarter, you're right. You're right. About 20 Kansas City.
Yeah, I could see him. He's going to fit very well in Kansas City, though.
Connor Cook at 31 to Denver.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, man.
They need a quarterback.
Yeah, they do. Sorry. The Broncos really, really need a quarterback.
I don't know if he's going to be the answer, but we'll soon find out.
Yep. We sure will at this point. Let's see here.
I'm surprised, the Cal guy is getting so much.
Jared Goff?
Yes.
You didn't think he was that good?
I didn't think he was that good.
Oh, really?
I mean, I don't remember what bowl they went to. I know Cal wasn't that highly ranked. They were 25 if at one point, and then it was just because of the Pac-12, they always lost to Oregon or Pac-10. Woo! That's 12 now.
Pac-12 now. Yep. You were right. I don't know about the NFL draft. It's not that far away. It's what's next weekend?
I think so. Wow. Are you going to watch the first round? I always usually try to.
I try to watch the first round for sure. I'll definitely watch the Dallas Cowboys pick and the Chargers pick because those are.
I'll try to stay for the OSU Ogma.
For OSU Ogma?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he gets drafted in the first round.
I think he will because he's a beast.
Yeah, he had 22 sacks last season.
He led the Big 12, almost the league, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Considering, he also played a lot more downs though.
That's true. That does of course help it out a lot.
I mean, yes and no at the same time because he'll be tired more, but
yeah, we'll see.
We shall see.
It'll be a very interesting draft overall. At this point, though, I think that the Dallas Cowboys need help, and the San Diego Chargers need help. But
Broncos
really,
need help.
The Broncos need help. Yeah, that's what I was going to get to.
They don't have any
Broncos
quarterbacks.
are Super Bowl winners, and they do not. Hey, they have Mark Sanchez.
Oh, man.
He's won playoff games.
Oh, man. Hold me back.
He's won playoff games.
With the greatest coach ever.
Rex Ryan's not the greatest coach
I know, that's the sarcasm.
I mean, I don't get why you're being so sarcastic, though. I mean, the dude has actually gone in and won playoff games with a highly defensive team.
That's true.
And that's currently what the Broncos have. He's not the answer, clearly, but I think it'd be stupid to think that the Broncos will find the answer in the offseason with this.
They have to trade someone to get a quarterback, probably.
I don't know who's going to... Because everyone knows they need a quarterback, so I don't know who they'd take to get that guy.
Because I'm kind of surprised they didn't take RG3.
I'm surprised he signed with the Browns. I'm really, really surprised he decided, the Browns is it. Maybe because they said that no matter what, he'll start the whole first season.
I have a theory.
Go for it.
He knows his career's about to die, and all careers die in Browns land.
In Cleveland?
Yep.
I don't get why you had the voice over your mic, but...
It's the Browns.
You really think that RG3 knows? Is there any other theories you have here?
No, because most of the other quarterbacks are pretty much locked down for a while.
I'm surprised the Broncos didn't try to get Kaepernick.
I can see why they don't want him.
Yeah.
I mean, after his first year, where nobody knew what Kaepernick was all about, and they finally got to see film and tape, and then they also kind of lost some of their offensive line too in the 49ers, but still, they could figure out how to play around Cap. Because, I mean, let's think about this, though. Russell Wilson and Cap are kind of the same player, though, in a way. They are
different heights.
Different heights, though, but they play a similar style. Yet Russell is very, very more talented, I would say, or more...
Very, very more talented.
I
think Wilson's a smarter player when it comes down to it. I think Wilson had played at Wisconsin. Before then, he played at NC State, and that had given him a lot of different playing styles to fit different operations, and I think that the Seahawks offense overall has really helped him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
the defense.
Yes, and I think he's not completely a game manager, but that's what everyone wants to call him, and I'll agree with it, really.
Mm-hmm.
And he's more of a game manager. Kaepernick's more the guy who's going to break out on a 50-yard run down the sidelines. And Kaepernick, I think, is going to try to win the game, and I think that Russell Wilson's trying to not lose it, and that's completely different.
True.
Also, I think surrounding pieces have a ton to do with their two careers.
Yes.
If Wilson's suddenly in San Francisco, if Wilson's in San Francisco right now, it's a completely different story for his career. And if Kaepernick's in Seattle, it's a completely different story for his career.
I mean, Kaepernick did have his chance a few years back against Baltimore.
He did in the Super Bowl,
and that's whenever he lost all of his pieces.
Yeah, after that Super Bowl run for the Niners, they lost a lot of things. It's hard to believe that they've fallen this far, but that division's pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see, you got 49ers, Seahawks,
Cardinals.
Cardinals are always... Well, now they're really good this couple of years. And then who's the last one?
Rams.
Mm-hmm. And Rams are kind of right now.
Right. But when they've won a couple of games. And I think they've won this game in Seattle or two, which is almost unheard of in this day and age. And in Seattle and everything.
Hey, at least now that division makes sense, though.
That's true.
After the move.
That's true.
Everybody's on the West Coast.
Yep. Yeah.
Instead of across the whole entire country.
Yeah, instead of having a team in St. Louis. You want to talk about the NBA draft for a second?
Sure.
What do you think will happen if the Celtics get the first overall pick? You think that changes the whole offseason dynamic for the whole entire team or not?
Celtics, if they get the first round draft pick, I think they could possibly make it further into the playoffs next year.
Then next season?
Yeah.
They could do more with that first overall?
Basically, they probably could jump up to a third seed. Easily. Third or second seed.
Yeah.
Just because it's just the Eastern Conference.
Do you think that shakes up the whole draft? The Celtics somehow get the first overall pick?
I'm sure people will be... I know the 76ers will panic and probably try to get the first round pick somehow, so they'll trade up or somehow do that.
Who would you see the Celtics taking, though?
Probably Simmons or Hield.
If you had
to pick one,
you don't think Hield over Ingram, but still, if you have to lock you down to an answer here, who do you think?
Simmons.
Ben Simmons over all the Celtics?
Yes, yeah. Because they kind of have guards, and they don't really have. I don't know.
Brandon Ingram versus Ben Simmons. Who do you think they take, though? Which one of the two? Because that's the consensus top 1 and 2 players in the whole draft.
I still think Ben Simmons.
Yeah?
Just everybody's been, hyping him up, of course. We don't know if he's going to be the next dud or the next best thing, so you never know.
I think with Brad Stevens, they could really use Simmons to his full potential with Brad Stevens. I think he's an amazingly underrated... I think he's an amazing coach right now. He's becoming less and less underrated as a coach, but I think Ben Simmons is just waiting to unlock his potential. I think the whole situation he had at LSU was just off, and
he should have had tournament at least NIT. Give him that, but no.
Well, LSU said they didn't want to go to the NIT, and
which is kind of dumb on their part,
right?
Because they probably would have won the NIT.
Maybe. You never know with the NIT.
Yeah.
That's just weird teams.
True.
LSU, whenever... the weirdest game of the year for me, though, whenever I think about Ben Simmons, was the game against OU.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Buddy Hield took over the game and Ben Simmons kind of just kept passing the ball.
Yeah.
He didn't, come out of his shell or whatever you want to call it and just accelerate and just explode as a player and just show this crazy ability to take over a game like Hield did.
Mm-hmm.
And when Buddy Hield did, it was just...
But then again, Hield kind of got shut down in the tournament, though.
Right, but he made it to the Final Four.
True.
Ben Simmons didn't make it... He didn't lead his team to the NCAA... round of 64. He didn't make it to March Madness.
True.
It's a completely different story.
But, he also, I'm sure... I know this probably doesn't make that much... Oh, it kind of does. OU had more seniors, though.
Oh, you had more experience and more seniors. I'll give you that for sure.
So,
But that...
And maybe a better coach. We don't know.
Probably a better coach.
Most likely.
I definitely would say that LSU doesn't have a better coach. But it just, oh man, it just, how I say this? It pains me that Ben Simmons chose to go to LSU.
Yeah,
I know, like, his godfather is an assistant coach at LSU, and so that's, like, one of the reasons why he went there.
Mm-hmm.
But it pains me to think that the possible and probable number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft didn't make it to March Madness and didn't have the extra couple of games to play in there.
Or any tournament experience.
Yeah. Didn't play against, like, because he played against Kentucky and A&M and OU. But besides those teams, I mean, he didn't play against much. South Carolina wasn't that good, in my opinion.
No.
So,
I mean, they were also in the SEC, so you still had... I mean, they could have easily done better in the SEC conference, I think.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
They
didn't play that many good teams in the SEC, and to think Ben Simmons played in the SEC and just did as poorly as he did is really concerning.
I mean, they could have been at least a 2 or 3 seed, probably,
in
SEC.
Yeah, they should have been.
Should have, yeah.
If he's as good as everyone says he is, I think they should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
with that bombshell,
with that, as it is there, it is almost 9 o'clock, so it is the end of the Bedlam Brother Radio Show. Thanks to everyone tuning in here, of course. And we will, I guess, just...
see you next week, hopefully.
I plan on being back next week.
Hopefully. It's dead week, so we don't know if we get into the radio room.
This is true.
This is very true. So we shall see. If not, it's probably going to be a mobile cast. So follow us. Yep. So if you're not following us on YouTube, follow us at...
Well, the Glenn review is what happens on YouTube as. But I'll follow at Calvin Glenn on... What's that face for?
Man, I tried to set you up for this and everything, and nope,
you
did not work.
You could just see it at this point.
Yeah, you know.
Go to bedlambrother.com to follow us there and get more information, or the Bedlam at Bedlam Brother on Twitter to know where we will, I guess, stream from next week.
Alrighty. And I'm Trey.
And I'm Calvin.